Hi there. I'm going to use a little bit of time in this presentation to introduce you to some ideas about control freaks. We've all met them, I'm sure, and whereas we can perhaps sympathise in that they are pursued by their own demons, they can also be a complete headache to work with and to mix with socially in relationships and so on. So here's a little overview of some of the things that you might see and a little bit of an understanding of what might be driving that. I hope you enjoy it. And I guess even as you're reading this, I feel the temptation to say so. I will. And we all know somebody like this, don't we? The fact is that some of the behaviours we're going to take a look at might in some organisations be seen as quite positive, and used well, they will help take people forward. However, there's that old adage, isn't there? What will get you there won't keep you there. And some of the behaviours that accompany this, because they're quite negative behaviours, are actually quite destructive ones. This does it look like somebody who's a necessarily well person? And when we think of some of the issues related now to mental health, well-being, there are probably some quite serious repercussions for those who feel the need to have complete control over most things almost all of the time. So here we have it, and put plainly, look, I've worked really hard at this and I think I should be getting much more out of it than I've actually got. In fact, I've got nothing at all. So that's really getting me into a situation where I'm very hacked off and everybody is going to know about it. It just isn't, is it? What we need to maybe think about here is that people who are afflicted, and I do mean afflicted with this, are going to spend a lot of time, a lot of effort and energy in trying to make life predictable, and it quite clearly, evidenced daily, isn't. Part of the deal of life is that we tend to learn quite a lot through getting things wrong and through failure. If we are in a position where we are unable to accept that we've got stuff wrong, it's unlikely that we're going to learn the lessons from that particular experience and incorporate them into our lives as we move forward. I have a much loved and respected aunt who has a phrase, and it goes like this: it's always thee and never me. And it seems to sum up this slide absolutely perfectly. And this brings us nicely and uncomfortably to this. And then this. This is, I feel, quite important. What it means is, in quite simple terms, that poor performance in one place creates increased pressure in another. So if there are issues around work, they create pressure at home. Now, this is quite a simplistic illustration. However, it's my view that if the poor performance is at work, that's where the conversations need to be. How do we make things better? But because control freaks can't be wrong, the likelihood of that conversation happening is very low. And similarly, if there are pressures at home, then that's going to cause increased pressure at work. So you can see it's almost a compensatory mechanism, because that person simply cannot be wrong. And here for you are some quite stark outcomes. I'm sure when you take a look at these four, you'll feel quite confident in adding some others in yourself, maybe from your own experience. There's a strong message here, isn't there? Particularly when we think about the workplace where most of us spend most of our time. How do we generate organisations where there is the confidence, the honesty, the courage, the openness to, one, challenge controlling behaviour, and two, help those who are experiencing it to achieve their full potential by enabling them to live through it. Because if we don't, they're going to possibly reach a point where their role in the organisation is no longer sustainable. And whereas we might be losing a piece of unwanted behaviour should they decide to leave, we also might be losing their wisdom, their skills, their knowledge and experience. So it's really well worth thinking about how can we bring people to a place of confidence and understanding where controlling behaviour is challenged and some alternatives are put in place. We can cut to the chase pretty quickly here, can't we? Look, you can't predict the future, so please don't try and control it. You're going to hurt yourself, and you're going to hurt a lot of other people as you do so. Some of them are going to be working with you, and some of them are going to be your nearest and dearest at home. So stop it. However, that doesn't exist in isolation. Here at DY3 Solutions, we believe it is clearly the job of leadership and management to develop, consult on, articulate, publish and ensure that people live up to a series of high quality ethical values that will enable us to deliver on some very interesting ways of working together that are not dependent on people taking control. Taking control in a destructive manner, we've had a look through this presentation about what that can look like, what that can feel like, and this has really just scratched the surface. If you'd like to find out more about who we are, what we do, or just have a chat about what you've seen today, our contact details follow. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. Bye.